What's up, everybody? Crypto Noah back with another take profit yield farming video. In this video, I'm going to show you my step-by-step plan on how I plan on turning a $15,000 investment into Polytrade into $1.8 million. All right. So in this video, we're going to briefly touch on what Polytrade is. And I say briefly because per usual, we did a full fundamental deep dive on the Know It All's YouTube channel. We went through the team, we went through the product, we went through the tokenomics, did a platform walkthrough, like literally everything that we can find, the socials, everything. So in this video, I'm just gonna give you a high level. I'm gonna show you my take profit plan. And if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna show you my yield farming strategy on how I would go about accumulating Polytrade passively so that I'll have more to sell when we get deeper into the bull market. So before we get started, I do have to say none of this is financial advice. Consult with your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. These are my own perspectives, research, and opinions, and they should be treated as such. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the content, starting off with what is Polytrade. So here we are on the Polytrade website, polytrade.finance, and a big reason why I like Polytrade is because it is in the RWA category. And right now the market cap for RWAs is 7 or 8 billion. And there are platforms with such as Pendle Finance with 6 billion, 7 billion on their platform alone. So I feel like RWAs are undervalued, and when they get their time in the sun, they're going to pump pretty hard. So Polytrade is essentially a marketplace where you can tokenize different assets and list them on here to sell, or you can buy certain things. They also have a way to where you can take out credit as well and borrow against what you deposit on the platform. So you can real estate, structured credit, collectibles, treasuries, equities, bonds. These are some of the projects that they work with, a lot of which we've covered, such as Clearpool, such as Maple. I think they have Goldfinch on here as well. Yep, here it is, Goldfinch. Ondo, we made a video on Ondo as well. I'm not bullish on Ondo, but pretty clean website. We made a video on Boson protocol or Boson, whatever you want to call it. I like this platform better than Boson, just being honest. And, they have some pretty good investors. And the platform is pretty clean. We went through the docs on the Know It All's video. So that is the extent to which I'm going to talk about Polytrade. All right, so now that we know what Polytrade is, let's go over my step-by-step take profit plan and see how I plan on turning 15K into 1.8 million. Also, guys, don't just buy the token because you hear this crazy price prediction. I have risk management at play, as you'll see, and a lot of research went into this. Definitely watch the first video. Don't just buy the token, actually watch the video. We dove really, really deep. Your future bags will thank you for it. All right, so here's my Polytrade take profit strategy. So important thing to know is once you're doing a take profit strategy, you want to have a conservative estimate as to where you think prices will go, as well as an aggressive estimate, and have your take profit strategy set up to where even if it doesn't hit your conservative or if it exceeds your aggressive, you're still able to profit. All right, and that's exactly what we have here. So conservatively, I think Polytrade can reach a $4 billion market cap. On the aggressive side, I can see it hitting 8. All right, the current price at the time of this video is 68 cents. The current market cap is $25,174,012. All right, so starting off with 15K. My first take profit is going to be once it does a 20x. Now, normally my goal is to play with house money as quick as possible. But since the market cap is so low on this one and, we just got to eat the ETF and we're just so early in the game, I have a lot of other projects that I'm more convicted on where I'm already playing with house money. So I'm okay to risk it for that little lad biscuit on this one. You feel me? All right, so 20x, that's going to bring the price from 68 cents to $13.60. And that's going to bring the market cap from 25 million and some change to $503,480,240. It's going to turn my 15K into 300K right off the back, taking a third of that off. 100K in profits. Boom. Playing with house money, I'm in a risk-free trade. So now I have 200K left. My second take profit is going to be once it does a 6x. It's going to bring the price from $13.60 to $81.60. And that's going to bring the market cap from 503 million to $3,020,881,440. Okay. Now, that's going to turn my 200K into 1.2 million. We're right under my conservative estimate, which was 4 billion. So I'm going to take a good amount of profits because there's a chance that it might not reach it, right? So I'm taking out 700K. So I have 800K in profit so far. My third take profit is going to be once it does a 2x, right? So I have 500K left. Once it does a 2x, that'll bring the price to, 162, if my math is correct? 163 and some change. And that'll bring the market cap from 3 billion to 6,041,762,880. And that'll turn my 500K to 1 million. Now we're getting closer to my aggressive, so I'm taking off most of the money. I'm taking out 800K, all right? So now if you add up all your profits plus what you still have in 200K, you just turn 15K into 1.8 million. Congratulations. Now you're probably wondering, what do I do with the remaining 200K? Oh my God, 200K, what do I do? I'm just playing. I don't know why I'm in such a joking mood today, forgive me. But at this point, I'm going to be taking off a 50% take profit every time there's a 25% increase or gain, all right? So the closer you get to the top, I'm not going to fool myself into thinking I can time it. The more I'm going to be taking off the top so that, eventually once this thing corrects itself, I'm happy with the money that I made. Now that we cover that, since you stuck around, let's go over my yield farming strategy and show you how I would go about accumulating Polytrade passively so I have more to sell once we get into the heat of the bull market. All right, so first you want to come here and you want to see where most of the trading is happening. For whatever reason, our tool isn't pulling up Polytrade, so we're going to have to do some reconfiguring, but still can do it the old school way here. So you can see that most of the trading on the decentralized exchange is happening on Polytrade USDT on the Polygon network, and the second one is Trade USDT on ETH mainnet. All right, so right off the bat, I wouldn't enter this right now just because, like, if you look at this chart, you can see that it's at a big correction right now. And given that I think we're going into a bull market, the best pairs to provide liquidity for are volatile pairs. So it would be nice if Polytrade and Ethereum was the pool where most of the liquidity was happening. Then I would consider jumping in, because Polytrade does a 10x. It's going to be harder to stay in range versus if it's Polytrade and ETH. If Polytrade does a 10x, ETH may do a 5x. Now you have a better chance at staying in range, right? And if that's confusing to you, guys, we have a whole concentrated liquidity course where we cover literally everything you need to know to run your portfolio like a professional market maker. We have members in there who builds custom tooling and who are advanced farmers, as well as our advanced coaches who have been doing this for years. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link in the description, book a free strategy session, and we'll see if our program is a good fit for you. I digress. So let's go over to Uniswap and look at the USDT trade pair and Polygon as well. So here we are on ETH, and you can see that this is the top one. The one-day APR is 0.5%. And if we click on it, you can see that the past day, 23K in trading volume. The past week, only 282K. The TVL is 44K, so it's not a bad profit volume to TVL ratio, but you can see how the volume has just been going down and down. This is not the most popular pool though, all right? So now let's check out Polygon, because that's where 34% of the trading was happening. So you can see that one-day APR still 0.5%. This is Trade USDT again. And if we click this, past week, volume has been declining on Polygon. Past month, it's still just been declining. And for the past year, ever since March, it's just been declining volume. And I like to find pairs where the volume is increasing. Now, there are strategies where you want to get ahead of volume. If you think people are going to accumulate Polytrade, by the droves more than any other token, and you're super bullish on it, it may be a good idea to enter into a pool. But again, there isn't a big Polytrade ETH pool. Now, that doesn't mean it can't happen. There's a lot of factors at play, but I'm not going to enter this one. One, because it's not Trade ETH, right? So it's not a volatile pool. Two, there are pools that I'm in, such as, my ETH Goldfinch or my ETH Maple pool, that are paying way better than this one. And I'm bullish on both of those assets more than I am on this one as well. You never want to LP for any asset you wouldn't hold on its own. So instead of LPing for this one, I would just stay in the pools that I'm in, use the rewards to buy some Polytrade and other altcoins that I'm bullish on, or cash, and just go about it that way. Just because you're bullish on a token doesn't mean you have to LP for it, because sometimes it's not the best pool. Sometimes it's good to find the good ones and use the rewards to buy the tokens that you're bullish on, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So for those reasons, I will not be yield farming in a Polytrade pool. All right, guys, so with that, I'd like to conclude this video. If you got value, I ask you to consider dropping a like, drop a comment, share with a friend. Definitely hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3K. But let me know which RWA protocol you want us to cover next. We're getting close to an altcoin season, at least I think so. So we're trying to go through all of them and find the best ones so that we can all make some money together. So with that, thank you guys for tuning in. I love every single one of you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.